Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'd like to start with a poultry salad. Doesn't need to be used as a salad. It can be used with sandwiches or on lettuce with tomatoes, etc. I call it a poultry salad because I prefer to make it with turkey breasts, which are a little healthier than chicken, but chicken is much easier to get in the market. So today we're going to make it with chicken. Now you're going to laugh at me about preferring turkey. I really do like the taste and it being healthy, because when you see all the mayonnaise that goes into this, you're going to wonder what I'm talking about. But if you are averse to cholesterol, stop right here. Go no further. So let's get started. So let's start with the ingredients. Chicken breast, fresh onion, I love curry, tomato paste, and of course, you remember, I like the mayonnaise. Those are our ingredients. Very important, of course, are the tools that we use to make our poultry salad. I use a KitchenAid, and we don't take advertisements, but I'm just telling you what I use. Blender with a meat mincing attachment. It's very helpful. Of course, you might like the old variety. Many of you have probably never seen one of these. This device is used to grind up the meat. It's like your great-grandmother used to use. And here is the device I use for chopping up the onions. Those are the tools. Our first step is to cut up and cook the chicken. I'm sure everybody knows that a really good sharp knife is something that every kitchen needs, and you need to cut things like this up, but be careful you don't cut yourself in the process. I cut up the chicken because it cooks faster and more uniformly than if you try and cook the whole chicken and then cut it up to put in the meat grinder afterwards. I cut it up into chunks about this size that will fit into the meat grinder. You want to trim the fat off because this fat and gristle will turn to very hard little chunks when it cooks, and you can break your teeth on that. And let me give you a little tip here that I think is important. The care of your knife is essential to making sure that you have a good sharp edge on that knife. That means every time you use it, you wash it in hot water and soap, and then you dry it. You don't let the knife air dry, and you never put a knife in a dishwasher. I have not experimented with using ceramic knives. I understand they really are great, but it's not within my budget quite yet. But if anybody has experimented with those and has a comment, please post it. Now we cook the chicken in boiling water. Once that pot starts to boil, I'll set the timer on 10 minutes. You don't want to undercook chicken, never undercook chicken, or any poultry, but you don't want to overcook it either. I also suggest stirring the chicken every once in a while, just to keep the pieces from congealing one to the next, making it harder to cook through. Meanwhile, as the chicken is cooking, we can get our onion prepared. I like to trim off the harder outer layers of the onion because they're a little bit tough. And I cut across it like this. Once we've cut it into discs, then I cut them in half because they don't fit in the chopping machine unless you do. This is the way the onion chopping machine works. It's pretty straightforward. These little teeth cut through the grating and dice the onion very nicely. So there's our chicken, all ready now to be put into the grinder. A very important tool, by the way. You never want to put your finger in this machine, because when you see the way this comes out, you don't want your finger to come out looking like that. So here we go. Right up. So our chicken is all ground up. That's about 3 pounds of chicken. Looks like that when the machine gets through with it. Nice texture. Now it's time to add the ingredients. Like I said to you, this is not a low cholesterol dish. So we're going to add a lot of mayonnaise. Probably going to take most of this jar. For those of you who like mayonnaise, that's good news. For those of you who worry about cholesterol, you should have signed off before we got this far. I do a little bit of hand mixing to start with, just to make the process go a little better. I use quite a bit of curry, because I love curry. Sharpens the taste a little bit. And we're going to use this whole can of tomato paste. You can do this without the tomato paste if people are offended by the red color. Some people said to me, "What, you're using chicken tartare here?" No, we're not. But some people might think that. In which case, I'd leave the tomato paste out, but I like it with the tomato paste. It gives it a great taste. Once or twice during the mixing process, you need to mix the stuff that's stuck to the walls of the bowl back into the main stream here so that everything gets included. Now, as the last step, we're ready to add a few onions. Now that the onions have been added, we can finally look at the finished product. The red color is due to the tomato paste. As you saw, the chicken was not bloody when we cooked it, so you don't need to worry about that. And I like these dishes for storing in the refrigerator. I don't use plastic storage containers. There we have the depending on how big your family is, a week's supply of the best poultry salad you'll ever find. So there you have it. Our chicken salad is done. I just want to show you one thing about this, one little tip. I love the KitchenAid equipment, but this could be easier to clean, and they didn't think it through very well. If you're listening, KitchenAid, you might package something like this with the device. I looked around and found a wine bottle brush, because if you don't clean deep down inside there, you're going to get rotten chicken in there, and that is very unhealthy. So this has to be cleaned very, very, very carefully. So thank you for joining me in my kitchen and going through with me the recipe for my poultry salad. Next time, I'm going to work with you on making homemade peanut butter. And we use cashew nuts when we make the peanut butter. That is so good that it's evil. So, until next time, on our Health Food Network, enjoy your chicken salad.